Doug Gottlieb from CBS Sports joining us now. Dougie Fresh, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I got to tell you, that happens to me all the time. People mistaking me for Stephen A. Smith. It happens.
Well, could be worse. Could be Skip Bayless.
Yeah. No, I've been called as such, but that's right. No, seriously, you'll get the Greenberg. Love you on my side. Love you. Thanks. Am I that thin? Do I look that weak? Is that's the deal? I don't know.
I've had people who said, I love when you say booyah. And I said, I don't say booyah. Oh, come on. Don't be shy. I go, I don't do booyah. But, yeah, you think you're making an impression on people, and you realize you're not. Speaking of impressions, most surprising Final Four team is who?
Most surprising? Has to be UConn. I mean, I think the obvious answer is Kentucky, only in that those of us who follow it on a day-to-day felt like this was, some felt like it was a train wreck when they lost to South Carolina on the road, just the overall sense. But I felt like they were getting it together. I mean, there were moments late in the season before the SEC tournament, a Mississippi game where they were dominant. I hadn't jumped ship on them. But UConn, I caught a game of theirs in late January, and they're a nice team. I mean, Shabazz Napier's a pro, tremendous talent. I love Kevin Ollie, but you look around at the rest of the roster, and you're like,
yeah.
UConn's one. Just jumps out at you like that's a nice team, but one guy is carrying them to a height that you wouldn't think based upon the overall roster and makeup of the team they should be.
Well, they really got helped out by the home away from home court advantage as well, because once they got to the Garden, I think you saw the difference in that team. And I know that seeding this and the tournament committee, selection committee, it's a tough job, but I thought they benefited more from location than anybody else did.
Yeah. I mean, they also benefited from Iowa State didn't have the most important player.
Yep.
And they benefited from, there's a couple of calls in the middle of that game yesterday that really hurt Michigan State. There was two phantom calls in a row on Keith Appling. One when Napier just kind of fell down in front of the ref on a jump shot. That was his second foul. Then Appling, the next possession, was playing post defense. It was his third foul. And then he reached in. It was his fourth foul, and they can't play without him. And in addition to which, those little guards, Boatwright, Boat and Napier, they just climbed into them. They kind of – Michigan State likes to play fast, but this is the same thing that's happened 2 years in a row against UConn, in that those guards they unravel them. They make them run their offense way out towards court. And from back your days running an offense, you can't run an offense at midcourt with your back to the basket. You got to be kind of in the attack zone. And they're taking Adrian Payne's a good jump shooter, but shoot, he was shooting as many threes as Tim Legler. At some point you got to get back to the basket buckets. And I thought UConn had a really good plan for how to double him and where the doubles were coming from. The home court advantage, I'm sure, helped and energized them, especially end of the first half. They were out of gas.
Yeah.
And they were just out of gas. And then that kind of helps pick you up. Plus, little longer break at half picks you up. But they won the game because, they made some plays. Appling got in foul trouble. Michigan State, just their backcourt wasn't good enough, and the front court couldn't make up for it.
Talking to Doug Gottlieb from CBS Sports joining us, Dan Patrick Show. I don't think the tournament committee, the selection committee, takes into account or gives more credence to the final 10 games for a team. And that's been my issue with them, that if I look at your body of work, that's nice. Mm-hmm. Those final 10 games of the regular season and even conference tournaments are far more valuable than your body of work to me.
Correct.
But they don't give extra points for what you do in those final 10 games. And I think...
look, they don't, supposedly they don't, use the final 10 games, but if you look at the teams that receive better seeds, Louisville would be the only kind of exception. Like UCLA shouldn't have gotten a 4 seed, but, they finished strong. After they lost to Washington State last game of the regular season, but then they finished strong. Teams that finished strong did get better seeds than they probably should have.
Michigan State didn't. Louisville didn't.
Wait, what was Michigan State to, a 4?
Yeah, Louisville's a 4. I mean, why did Villanova?
No, look, that was my problem with the committee, but and they took toll body work into Syracuse, but some of it also is who you play down the stretch as well. Syracuse obviously wasn't the same team at the end of the. I'm with you. Anyone who's ever been on a sports team, that's the beauty to what college basketball is supposed to be, in comparison to college football, where, college football, you lose a game in September, in October, we hold it against you when you get to, December and to January. Well, college basketball is supposed to be, about who the best team is, and who the best team is in March and April is not who the best team is in November, December. I'm with you. I did think that some of the seeds they tried to, conference tournament championship winners, some of them they tried to, give a higher seed to. But, the seedings might not have been perfect, but I don't think that determined who won and who lost too many of the games. Some teams had a tougher road than others, but I don't think the seedings being that out of. It's like people make the Kentucky shouldn't have been an 8. Okay. I mean, the problem is Kentucky lost so many games. They got swept by Arkansas. Like, I'm with you. Kentucky shouldn't have been an 8, but they earned an 8 based upon how they played. But anyone who saw them play late in the year is like, well, that's not an 8 seed. And it's like the old B.A. Baracus. I pity the fool that got to play Kentucky, and now they're all the way. Now they're all the way to Dallas.
What is the best story to win the national championship out of these 4 teams?
The best story. Well, I mean, obviously people hate Kentucky. I don't know. I kind of get it, but I kind of don't get it. Let me just say this.
Yeah, but they didn't create the one and done, Doug. Calipari didn't create it. He just took advantage of it.
Correct. I'm not saying I do.
Yeah, that's why I'm still amazed. Look, it's they look at it and say Kentucky's getting away with something somehow. It's like a tax loophole here. All Calipari did is say, all right, look, if they're only here for 6 months, I'm going to use them, and, I'll ride them to, the Final Four national championship there. So,
look, I'm with you. I will say this. We'll kind of go through, and you tell me what's the best story, okay? So, first you have Wisconsin, and you have Bo Ryan. You have their unique style, You got a bunch of white dudes. They even said it after the game, like, not bad for a bunch of white dudes that just, just play ball. And
is that their rallying cry? Not bad for a bunch of white dudes?
Not bad for, kind of fly for a white guy, I guess. You have to ask them. I'm sure you'll get a chance this week.
What is your favorite white guy cliche?
He's, what is it? He's, what kind of athlete is he? He's deceptively athletic.
Well, Stauskas, I think people would... that they were saying, he's crafty, deceptively athletic. I'm going, no. Yeah. The guy is athletic. That guy is going to be an NBA player.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, deceptively athletic would be my favorite. By the way, there's also some, subtle racism in that white guys can only be gym rats. Have you ever heard a black guy called, plenty of black guys are gym rats?
Or they don't work hard. Like Jordan didn't work hard. He was just naturally gifted. That's why Magic didn't work hard. He just sort of showed up and he became Magic. I love that. So who's your you got Florida's going to win this?
I do think Florida's the best team. I mean, look, Florida is the kind of the mid-major makeup, with all these seniors in the high-major bodies. I do think I think Kentucky's I think it's going to be Kentucky, Florida 4. I mean,
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty
good. How about this kid Marcus Lee and how well he played yesterday? My brother recruited him at Cal. Thought he was going to get him, and then Kentucky came calling.
Well, it made you go, where's he been?
No. There's just too many guys.
I know, but that's that you can't even get playing time. You couldn't get run until you had an injury that he comes in. You're going, oh my God.
But every coach in America tells guys on the bench, like, hey, man, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. And those guys on the bench, at some point, you just start rolling your eyes like, yeah, I got it. Okay?
I'm still waiting for my chance, as Coach said. Get ready.
Hey, listen, I'm with you. So, but he comes ready. Now he's got 10 points in the first half. He's blocking shots. He's Tim Duncan. That's as good a story there is. I think Shabazz is probably the best story. Just won a national championship behind with Kemba. And now he's trying to pull off his own Kemba.
Yeah,
I think that's probably a really good one. But I think it's Florida, Kentucky, and I think Florida's in Kentucky's head.
Good to visit with you. We'll perhaps talk to you after the national title game.
Yeah, I love eating those Pizza Hut ads. They're really good. And those Wingstop ads are really, really good. SVP.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Doug. That's Doug Gottlieb from CBS.